Hey, everybody. Jerry Cruzman, Maggie Fields.
I missed you, Dad.
Yeah.
I mean, I really miss you all the time because I can't actually see you in person. So, you know.
Yeah.
Did you like the movie?
Yes. How about you?
Oh, yeah. And I started to watch it again last night. I got about maybe halfway through it, and then it was 9 o'clock, and like Matthias walked off, and so I was sitting there by myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to bed now. So,
So, did everybody get to see it? I think, wasn't it Dominic that hadn't seen it and wanted to see it?
yes, he was so sad when I told him that I already saw. I was like, yeah, we all already watched it, and he was like,
Sadness.
I feel so bad. Okay, Red Notice on Netflix, 2021 film, PG-13, action adventure comedy, 1 hour and 58 minutes. And on IMDb, it was 6.4 out of 10, which is funny that it was only that high because I had been seeing on Instagram that it was the fastest grossing movie premiere on Netflix to date. So they had exceeded well over what they thought was going to happen, and pretty impressive.
I might have a little bit on that. It was not received as well, and that kind of ties along with what you just said. From a Rotten Tomatoes perspective, 36% or 4.7 out of 10. But that makes no difference, and nobody needs to listen to what I just said. They need to enjoy the movie for what it is, because movies bring people a lot of different results. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, if you kind of if you like Indiana Jones or The National Treasure or stuff like that, then you'll like this movie. That's good.
yeah, in fact, they made reference to the National Treasure kind of thing. So, and I'm not going to criticize. We're just going to tell about the different people. Interesting on this one, I have no idea how long it's going to go because we've talked about so many of these folks before. It's kind of tough to repeat. So
I have a few fun things though for the two guys in this, since we have talked about them. So, yeah.
I will tell you, well, since we're talking about the movie, it started out as a $160 million budget. It ballooned to $200 million. In the first weekend on Netflix, it took in 1.25 to about 1.5 million. Typically, Netflix doesn't do a lot of box office stuff, so they kind of labeled this thing as a big budget tentpole film, and they're talking about they would need around 200 million hours or about 83 million households viewers to deem this a success. So I have no idea where they're at, but I know that it was Reynolds announced the film had the best debut of any Netflix original film in the company's history, according to Wikipedia. So
Yeah,
that's kind of interesting when you go from what started out as I believe, a Universal picture that got picked up by Netflix, and all of their revenue is coming in from a streaming perspective. So you can do the math.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the things that I read is however long it took them to make the film, they've already exceeded that many hours and views or something on Netflix. So whatever it was was exactly the same amount. So
Red Notice is one of the first feature films to extensively use the first-person view drone flying for cinematography. And I'm going to have to rewatch it to kind of pay attention to that. I've seeing more and more of that kind of stuff, which it's kind of cool.
Well, that just brought me back, when they're escaping the prison and they, are walking along the outside or whatever, and Dwayne Johnson's hat flies off and Ryan tries to catch it and whatever. So maybe those sort of areas, they're on the cliff and it kind of takes you in little, and I wouldn't even have thought of that, it being with a drone. Of course, I mean, They're not really on this.
Yeah.
I hope they're not really that high. But maybe that was part of it, I don't know. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not something that was super obvious that you're like, oh, I bet they're using a drone.
But like I said, it was a plan to be a release for Universal Pictures, and Netflix acquired was acquired by Netflix for the distribution. So that's not terribly uncommon, although more and more with the streaming platforms that we have out there with Netflix.
So obviously, we got Dwayne Johnson. We've already spilled a bunch of stuff on him, in past movies. Total lovable guy. But so I just thought that I would write down a few fun things for him that maybe we didn't touch on before. I don't think that we did, but I wasn't going to go back and watch every episode that we had him in to see if we spoke about it or not.
We have talked about him a bit. Yes.
Yes, we have. So he is skilled in light tackle saltwater fisherman.
Nice. Very good stuff.
Yes. Mm-hmm. His cousin is actually his stunt double for most of his movies. He has a fear of spiders, and his net worth is $320 million.
Nice. I'll dovetail off of that real quick because I think we mentioned this before. His films have grossed over 3.5 billion in North America and over 10.5 billion worldwide, making him one of the world's highest grossing and highest paid actors, according to Wikipedia.
I think he was the highest paid actor of 2020, as of 2020, but then now it's, I actually wrote that down for later. We should move on to Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, and we just spoke about him because we just did his movie Free Guy a little bit ago, a couple episodes ago. Let's see. Fun facts: he has a fear of flying after a parachute didn't open when he went skydiving.
Oh, that's not good.
I would probably have nightmares for life. He can speak English and French, and then he can do some conversational Italian, Spanish, and Irish. And his net worth is $150 million.
There you go. Yeah, dovetailing a little bit off of that. We talked about Free Guy. I may have mentioned before, 6 Underground, a 2019 film. I think it went straight to streaming, but I enjoyed it. It was, if you haven't seen it, it is pop full of action. You can't get much more. His biggest commercial success came with the superhero films Deadpool in 2016 and Deadpool 2 in 2018. Mm-hmm. He was married twice, once before to Scarlett Johansson and currently to Blake Lively. So,
yes, and he dated Alanis Morissette for a while too. So I thought that was pretty fun.
Yep.
He's just kind of wide, diverse range of. He just seems like he just likes everything. So, how about Gal Gadot?
Yeah.
Gal Gadot. How it looks, how you pronounce her name. I was like, how do you pronounce her name? Because I would have been like Gal Gadot or Gadot or something. Anyway, she is an Israeli actress and singer. Yes. She's a martial artist and a model. 5'10" is her height. She was born April 30th, 1985. Her first film debut was Fast and Furious 4 in 2009. She has 3 daughters. She is the first non-American actress to play the Wonder Woman. And for the live action version or theatrical films instead of for television. And also, fun little tidbit, she played high school basketball. She said she wasn't an amazing shooter, but she ripped them on defense because of her height.
Oh. Yeah, she is. She's an exceptional actress. Wonder Woman 2017. Several others that we've talked about before, Justice League and Wonder Woman 1984. She, I think, did you just mention that she, at 18, was crowned Miss Israel in 2004. She then followed that up and she served 2 years in the Israeli Defense Forces as a soldier. So
I don't mention that, but yes, I did read that, and yeah, she seems like she's pretty badass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Growing up in Israel, she learned and danced jazz, hip hop for 12 years, and her first jobs were babysitting and working at a local Burger King.
Nice.
2017. Are you naming any more stuff? I mean, I don't want to jump all over you.
Well, I was just going to name a few of those movies just because we were going off, or I kind of had the like the net worth and stuff of the other guys, and so I kind of had this thing of money tonight. So
You go.
um, okay, so she Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice in 2016, as well as Wonder Woman in 2017 and Justice League in 2017. She made $300,000 for each of those movies, and then in Wonder Woman 1984, which was 2020 version, and Red Notice in 2021. Wonder Woman she made 10 million, and then Red Notice she made 20 million. Like
Nice.
quite the jump for those movies. So yeah, so good for her. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of her.
2017, she was placed at number one on FHM's 100 Sexiest Women in the World. And in 2018, she became the brand ambassador for Revlon and Reebok. And she's married. And you said that. She's got a few children. Her husband, which is her last name as well, Vassano, owned a boutique hotel in Tel Aviv, Israel, which she helped run and that they eventually sold to, I won't even try, Roman Abramovich in 2015 for $26 million. I'm going to try not to blow this thing up, but one of the actors, Chris Diamantopoulos, Greek actor. One of the films that I would associate him with, he played Mo Howard in the 2012 film The Three Stooges, and he is known for the voice of Mickey Mouse in the television series as well as The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse. Lots of TV work. He grew up splitting his time between Canada and Greece. He is of Greek descent and is a practicing member of the Greek Orthodox Church, as well as speaking fluent Greek. Ratu Arya, who was the agent, kept chasing them in this movie. She starred as Jenna in the film Last Christmas. Doesn't have a huge filmography. Probably the best known is probably Last Christmas and Red Notice. Was born in Guildford, England to Indian parents. Rawson Marshall Thurber. So he's got a little repertoire and it all kind of connects to Mr. Johnson. So Rawson, known for directing the films Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story, We're the Millers, Central Intelligence, and Skyscraper. So Central Intelligence, you'll remember Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. In 2016, he wrote and directed that. In 2004, he wrote and directed the hit comedy film Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story. He also wrote and directed the 2018 action film Skyscraper with Dwayne Johnson. And he next wrote and directed Legendary's $150 million plus budget action comedy Red Notice in 2021. To be announced in, don't know a year, but The Division. He's tied to that. So he's tied to Dwayne Johnson, and Dwayne Johnson, of course, is tied to $7 Productions, and that's tied to a lot of different stuff.
It looks like Dwayne Johnson's got several things coming up. Don't even have dates on them or anything. A lot of stuff that was in the box there, the coming up projects. So he's going to be a busy man.
He will be a busy man. This Johnson, Central Intelligence. Moana was the voice of Maui. The Fate of the Furious, Baywatch, Welcome to the Jungle, Jumanji. There's 3 of those. Rampage. It's kind of a fun movie to watch.
Love that movie. The kids really like it. Matthias really likes that one.
Yeah, Skyscraper, Hobbs and Shaw, Jungle Cruise, and going to be starring in Black Adam. We've talked about that before. I
I
think
don't want to give away what's going on in this movie because there's a few different twists to it, and it's just really fun. And sometimes you think, oh, I bet so and so, I bet this is going to happen or whatever, and then maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, and then by the end you're like, that happened too.
what the hell.
Wow, I know it was fun. It was really a really cute movie.
Gal, Death on the Nile with Kenneth Branagh. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to be announced. She's the Evil Queen. Also Cleopatra to be announced. Pre-production and Wonder Woman 3. Miss Gal is knocking it out of the park.
Anything you wanted to talk about the movie itself? Without giving anything.
No, it kind of goes on and it has twists and turns and after you've seen the movie, if you go back and you say, oh yeah, now you maybe pick up on a few things, but it's kind of fun. I won't say it's necessarily light, but it's fun, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Dwayne Johnson. I enjoy Ryan Reynolds and Miss Gal Gadot.
I thought it was pretty family friendly, and I think there was only actually one cuss word in there that I remember hearing, maybe two. I can think of like one time where it was like, okay, sweet, it doesn't have to be about all that. It was funny. If you look away for a second, you might miss something, because it's just very action packed. Little things happen, and
Right.
just there's so many little pieces to it, so which is fine, but don't look away for too long, you might miss something. So
That's right.
good. I really enjoyed it. I like those funny comedy, and I love Indiana Jones. I love the National Treasure and stuff like that, and I love Dwayne and Ryan. So to me, I feel like you couldn't go wrong. I was kind of surprised that the reviews were a little low.
Yep.
So
Not to be confused with SAS Red Notice, which is a Ruby Rose action film. If you don't know who she is, you will when I edit this thing later. I've saw several of her movies, and she's one of those up and comers, kind of action. As soon as you see her, you'll know who I'm talking about. She's got so SAS Red Notice, aka SAS Black Swan, I think is the other name of it. But that is a little confusing because this was Red Notice, and the movie that she was in, SAS Red Notice, actually a 2021 film, as I recall. I watch as much stuff as I can see her in because everything I've seen her in is good. So I'm going to give it a 4.1 Easter eggs.
4.2 treasures.
I like it. Netflix, go watch it. Fun movie.
For sure. Yeah, super good. Okay, so I just kind of wrote down a few other little fun tidbits. Most of it is along the money line. So, but I was trying to count how many movies Dwayne Johnson was in, and first I read that it was 54. Then it said he had like 92 credits, but I think a lot of that has to do with it's like
remember,
WWE and all.
He's in Free Guy as one of the robbers, kind of with a mask on his head.
So you're right. So, and then I went back and I actually counted all the movies, and there was only 41. And I'm like, or no, it was 41 for something else. And then I counted and there were 51. I'm like, he's all over the board. So I just went and I counted for Ryan Reynolds as well. And I don't know, it said 51 for him is the same. Then I was like, I don't know. Anyway, they've both been in a lot of stuff. So yeah. And so I didn't look into this. I didn't do the research on it, but I was like, well, what actor has the most movies ever, right? It said Eric Roberts with 455 movies. And I thought, how the hell is that possible?
He was a bad guy in Expendables, one of the Expendable movies.
I know he's a bad guy. I feel like he's a bad guy in everything. He's just like...
He plays a good bad guy.
Yeah. A good
But yeah, Julia Roberts' brother, Eric.
Okay. So I know we already talked about the highest paid actor was Dwayne Johnson for last year, but the highest paid actor for this year is your one and only Daniel Craig.
Hell yeah. Drop the mic.
So it said 138 million euros.
Too bad you don't like James Bond. I don't think Daniel Craig's getting paid in euros. He's getting paid in pounds. He's British.
Oh, well, whatever that is. Anyway, it was $160 million.
Boom.
We'll give that a give or take. Yeah. So overtaking from Dwayne Johnson. And then let's see. So Daniel Craig and then Dwayne Johnson, and then third highest paid actors. I think it had to do with per movie, maybe not like the third highest paid. I don't know. Everything I kept touching on, it would say something different. But I got Will Smith, Denzel Washington, and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Per movie?
Per movies, but the richest actor in the world of 2021. You know who it is?
I want to say Robert Downey Jr.
It's not. I don't even know that he was on the list that I saw. It's Tyler Perry.
Oh, that's possible. Yeah, because he's got production company, does a lot of that, his own stuff with Madea. But
Worth $1
Robert
billion.
Downey, when he was doing Iron Man and the Avengers, at least the Iron Man stuff, and I don't know this exactly, so I'm just spitballing here, but he took a percentage of the gate as opposed to getting paid up front. So, however, so if a movie bought in $2 billion, he got a percentage of that.
Nice.
So, yeah, you know what? I'll look it up while you're yapping. How's that?
Okay, so that was the richest. The richest actor was Tyler Perry, and then for female, for actresses, I had Jamie Gertz at $3 billion, but that is due mostly to her husband, who's a billionaire. So I don't know that counts. So we'll go with the second highest. As the first for me is Reese Witherspoon, and she's worth about $400 million, but she's got her other company too. So
Nice.
and then after that is Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, $300 million.
Yeah, they are worth a lot. I think they're billionaires, quite honestly.
Yeah, it just said 300 million, and I thought that maybe that was just for something. So I don't know. Like I said, it was just kind of, I felt like it was all over the board. It was kind of lying to me, but their name came up every time. Sometimes they came up as first, and then so those three. So we got Jamie Gertz, Reese Witherspoon, and Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen are actually two different people, but they're always put together. So can't have your own life if you're a twin, I guess.
Yeah, it says Robert Downey Jr. net worth of $300 million. Here we go. Downey was the highest paid actor for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, having negotiated a deal in which he received back-end profits that resulted in $75 million for 2018's Avengers Infinity War. He even made $50 million for the first Avengers movie in 2012. So
by not taking a paycheck. Nice.
Yep, he back-ended did the profits on the back end. So
wow, what a smart man.
Yes. All right, like, comment, subscribe. All right. Goodbye, everybody.